Hey y'all, happy Halloween, and like, comment, and subscribe, and most importantly, catch me on turn 2, wearing my Bob Ross t-shirt. I do enjoy Bob Ross. Anyway, it's your boy Danny from the Yugi Mayhem Bros, and I have an updated remix of my Cyberse deck, and you guys might be thinking, like, what, Cyberse? Well, I tried Salmon Greats, and they weren't that great, and I'm probably going to do a profile later on when they get a little bit more support. I have all the cards for them. I just don't know what I want to do with them for the time being. But I'll get around to it eventually. Anyway, so this is my Cyberse deck. This is my remix. This is my 2.1 version, and I guess I'm gonna call it 3.0, more likely 3.0, because it plays 3 different Cyberse engines basically, which is the Ritual engine, the Fusion engine, and then it plays on the Promptorn engine, the Tribute engine, to make your Bitrons and your Protrons and your Digitrons. Of course, I'm not playing Digitron, I'm only playing Bitrons, but I'll explain that when I get into the video. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get into this. We'll talk about my card choices and some neat little things you can do and some interesting things that you can play. So, also, this deck is a fun deck, and it's a deck that's made for the local level. I wouldn't take it to regionals just yet. I don't think it has enough support, even though we're not going to get any more generic Cyberse support. We're going to start getting archetype Cyberse support. But hopefully there's something in there that we can use. Anyway, so I play 3 Clock Wyverns because my my Clock Dragon is like my be-all, end-all. It's really good for ending games, really good for taking out the opponent. But let me tell you about Clock Wyvern and why he's good. So, when he's normal summoned or special summoned, you can cut his attack in half, and then you can special summon a Clock token. And the Clock token is level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense. And it's a Cyberse Wind, and you can only use this effect of Clock Wyvern once per turn. So he's a really strong card. He's a really good card, just for getting into your plays, your link plays. And this deck is a link spam deck. I mean, it's Cyberse. What did you expect? But there's not much else I can say about Clock Wyvern. He's probably one of my favorite monsters, but I don't have a lot to say about him, I guess. Up next I have Lady Debug, and sorry I'm not as enthusiastic as I usually am, or as cheery as I usually am. I kinda tired. It's 3 o'clock at night on the 30th. But anyway, Lady Debug, when she's normal or special summoned, you can add a level 3 or lower Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand. So she searches up basically this entire deck except for Clock Wyvern, which I wish Clock Wyvern was level 3, but it's okay. Because she pretty much searches out this card, Backup Secretary, who, when you control a Cyberse monster, you can just special summon her outright, and that's such a powerful effect. She gets a lot of your combos off and a lot of your combo plays going. Up next is my 2 Widget Kids. Widget Kid, when he's normal or special summoned, you can special summon on top of him another Cyberse monster. So what you really want to do is go for either Balancer Lord, who is up next. Balancer Lord. So normal summon Balancer Lord, pay 1,000. Normal summon Widget Kid, special summon your Lady Debug, and then add Backup Secretary, and you have a potential Link 4 play. potential potential Link 4 play. I actually don't play any Link 4s in this variant. I'm just testing it out. I took Firewall Dragon out. I didn't like how it plays. And Firewall Dragon isn't very strong this format. I don't think so anyway. And anyway, getting back to the importance of Balancer Lord, you pay 1,000 life points and then you can normal summon an extra turn, like an extra on top of your main normal summon. And then you can gain this effect when he's banished. If this card is banished, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand. You can only use the effect of Balancer Lord once per turn. So he's a very powerful card, and these are like all my multiples. I play. These are like all the multiple monsters that I want to see that really help out, that I want to prolong the game with, and really defend my territory with, I think. And we have Cyberse Magician, the man, the myth, the legend, one of my favorite monsters. So I played 2 Cyberse Magician, and a lot of people might be thinking like, what, you're playing 2 Cyberse Magician? Well, at one point I was playing 3 Cyberse Magician. I really like him a lot. I like his effect, and there's a lot to say about him actually. Any damage you take is halved, and while you control a Link monster, your opponent cannot target monsters you control for attacks except for this one, and you can't target it with effects except for this one. So there's some combos where you can lock your opponent out and make it really grindy for them to play the game with Honey D-Bot and a lot of different other cards, and not Lady Debug. What am I saying? I always do this in my profiles. I always go back and forth. Like I notice that I do that. So if you guys don't like that, you know, I'll try and work on it. But in the meantime, it's what's at hand. So he has good combos with Honeybot. That's the card that I was trying to get at. Bumblebee, Ladybug, same thing. Where you can lock your opponent out of the game and lock them out of doing damage to you or potentially harming you in any way. And then up next is the Prompt Horn engine. So there's Prompt Horn. You contribute a level 4 or lower Cyberse monster and special summon up to the number of levels normal monsters from your deck, but banish them when they leave the field. So what that basically means is if you tribute a level 4, you can special summon 2 Protrons and 1 Bitron. And I'm playing Bitron because he's got a 2k booty. He's at 2,000 defense, and Digitron is only at 15, I believe. So I opted to play 2 Bitrons instead. At one point I was playing 1 Bitron, 1 Digitron, just to have different names circulating in the deck. But I found that it doesn't really matter. As long as you have these, you can go for a 3 monster and go for 1 Protron and 1 Bitron. Or you can go for a level 2 if you need 2 level 2s. You have the 2 Digitrons, and it works back and forth. But to some more advanced Cyberse players, I've learned that this is an engine in its own right, is the Prompt Horn engine, and it's its own deck. Like, usually you play it comboed with these cards, with Ram Clouder and Flame Buffalo. And I play, these are the one-ofs coming up next, and Ram Clouder basically will let you tribute a monster, and you can special summon a Cyberse monster from your graveyard. So that's really good. He's an 18 beater. And then we have Flame Buffalo, which some people would say is not the strongest of choices of Cyberse monsters, but I really like him a lot with the combo potential with Link Devotee and not Link Devotee, Link Disciple, where you contribute this, draw 1 card, put 1 card face down onto the bottom of your deck, and then discard 1 Cyberse monster and draw 2 cards. It does net you 1 card even though you're technically losing Flame Buffalo, but that's okay because you kind of want to have monsters in grave circulating, and you kind of want to have monsters on field circulating. Up next, I play one Sea Archiver. Sea Archiver is an interesting card that when a monster is special summoned to a zone that a link monster points to, you can special summon it just like that. You know, just special summon it and banish it when it leaves the field. You can special summon it from graveyard. Interesting enough, from graveyard or from hand. So this is a really good card. It's a really good tech card. I don't see a lot of people playing it in Cyberse. These two cards, I would say, are some of the most interesting cards to me, and I don't see a lot of people play them. But I like it, and I like Sea Archiver. Up next, I have one Link Slayer. I like the idea of popping back row or discarding cards that I don't need, because you kind of, like I said, you want a graveyard. And you can special summon this card from your hand if you control no monsters, and he's a 2000 beater, so that's nothing to laugh at. And then up next is Cyberse White Hat, who, if you control two monsters the same type, which the whole deck is Cyberse, which is pretty much, you know, your whole deck, and you can special summon him in you can special summon him from your hand. Yeah, I would special summon him in defense because he's a 24 defender, and if you link with him, all your opponent's monsters lose 1,000 attack points, so there's some combo potential with that as well. And this is a very combo heavy deck, and like once I get started with it, I can't put it down. Like it's kind of like doing a jigsaw puzzle, I think. Up next, I have D-Grade Buster. He's the BLS of the deck. You banish two Cyberse monsters, and then you can banish quick effect. You can banish until the end phase anything with higher attack than him. So he's a 25 body, 25 defender, level 7. Pretty good card. You can just tribute him off with the Signet Ritual and get your Cyberse Magician plays going. And the final monster that I play is one of my favorites, is Dot Scraper, because he summons Link Haribo. So, and then he comes back. And then if he's banished, he comes back. So he's kind of hard to get rid of. And he's got 21 defense, so 21 booty. That's not bad. He's sitting heavy. Bam. Up next for my spells, going for the one-ofs, I play one for one. Again, like I said, graveyard, I can't stress it enough. Like, you guys will see eventually, like, if you play the deck long enough, you're like, oh, that's what he meant, that he wants a graveyard. So you play one for one. You can send Dot Scraper. Dot Scraper will come back, summon Prompt Horn, or you could even ditch one of your dead vanilla monsters and summon a Dot Scraper, and then link with Dot Scraper. Dot Scraper will come back. There's a lot of combos that, like, just with like what's in front of you, like just with what's given to you. We play one gold sarcophagus to potentially banish Dot Scraper or Balancer Lord. Also, the idea of getting a card back on the second turn is not a bad idea either. It's just a little slow. I play one Monster Reborn because in this deck, special summoning is key. And in all my deck profiles, Monster Reborn is kind of a reoccurring thing, a reoccurring factor. And then I play one Soul Charge. I'm starting to see more and more people opt to take this card out because of the time rule that is in effect of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the game change. I know the game change was a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, but it was a while back. And I'm noticing people don't really want to lose their life points in game, so they'll opt to side this card out. I find that it helps out more than it does bad, especially in a link deck like this, because you can reborn your links and you can reborn your your little Cyberse monsters and whatnot, and get a bunch of combo potential plays going. I play one Cynet Fusion because it's grabbable with Clock Spartoi. Spark. I don't know how to say his name, so somebody correct me. I'm sure eventually somebody will correct me. But anyway, there's a card in the extra deck that will let you grab this card, and it's recyclable with another fusion monster that I play. So it and Clock Wyvern make Clock Dragon, and it and two Cyberse make the other monster that I was talking about, but we'll get into that when we get into that. I play two Cyberse Rituals. They're for the Magician, self-explanatory. You can banish this you can banish this if you control no cards, I believe, or is it control no monsters? If you control no monsters, you can banish this card and one ritual monster to the graveyard, and special summon two Cybernet tokens. Level 4, 0 attack, 0 defense. But you cannot activate this effect the turn that this card was sent there. So it's pretty good. It's I say more powerful than Cyberse Magician anyway. I don't know. I think it's better than Cyberse Magician, but I like Cyberse Magician, so I'm kind of biased in that sense. Call by the Grave, play two of it because it's what we have, and hand traps really hurt this deck a lot and can really mess up this deck's plays. But I will say that they hurt, but they do not stop. So think about that. They hurt this deck, but they don't stop this deck. It potentially will cripple the deck, but not completely get rid of anything that it has. Like, it's got a lot of powerhouse plays, a lot of really strong pushes, and I can't say enough about this deck, that since the beginning, like, watching Cyberse grow, it's just been so interesting to grow as a new type of monster that we have. I play two World Legacy Succession because I want to reborn my monsters to link zones and get the special effects, the special summon effects of those monsters off. Two in particular that I can think of that we'll talk about once we get there. But this card's very strong. You can only activate once per turn, but it'll let you reborn just about anything. And I was playing 3 of it, but I cut it down to 2 because I felt that 3 was cloggy. Because it's only once per turn. Anyway, Cynet Backdoor. This card is really cool because it clutches out and saves your monsters when you need them most. And will like, you can, for instance, a little, not really a combo, but like a little save maneuver or a little safety maneuver is what this card does. I should explain first, is banishes a monster and then brings it back during the next standby phase. And you can add a monster whose attack is lower than that monster's original attack. And then actually that monster banished by this effect can attack directly, but you can only activate one Cynet Backdoor per turn. So this card I like a lot because if you have a monster in your extra monster zone, you can banish it and have it come back to your main monster zone, and you freed up your extra monster zone for more potential link plays, and you grabbed something for more potential link plays. And the final card in this deck is one of my favorites, is One Time Passcode. It's just a free token, a free level 4 token, 2k body, 2k defender. I can't say much about it. I like it. It's good. Play it. It helps out. And that's the main deck. I'm going to go ahead and go to the extra deck now. So we play one Linkuriboh because Arrowbutt is Arrowbutt. He's our mascot. Um, he honestly, like, he's one of the, like, I cannot express enough how much that down arrow just helps out. Like, just alone with that down arrow, he helps out. And then I play one Link Disciple, Link Disciple and Link Devotee, they need a little bit of explaining, but if you watch my videos, you'll see that I use these cards a lot, that I combo with them a lot. I combo Flame Buffalo with this card, I combo Sea Archiver with this card. All sorts of different things, and these two make me very happy because once you opened up a Cyberse monster that can get you into these two, you basically have the combo for locking your opponent out of doing intense amount of damage to you and doing effects to you and whatnot, and I like it a lot. So what they do, get to the main point, is Link Disciple can tribute a monster that it points to, and you can draw one card, and then you can put one card, well, you have to put one card to the bottom of your deck. Then Link Devotee, well, tributed, can summon 2 tokens, which I believe are level 2? No, they're level 1. 0 attack, 0 defense. 2 tokens. But you can't summon Link 3s or higher. But that's okay because your Link 3 plays are usually your big pushes, and you want to start off with your little plays first, your little power plays. Those are the Link 1s. I play one Flame Administrator, Flame Administrator is very powerful and a very good card. Going to 2k and then powering up all of your cards, making them beat sticks. I play one Honeybot because she is the combo, basically. She's the combo enabler. She kind of like, she's what really helps this deck out, like really helps play around your opponent. I have Cyberse Witch, her arrows aren't bad, and when a monster is special summoned to an arrow that she points to, except during the damage step, you can banish one spell from your graveyard and add one Cyberse Ritual monster and one Signet Ritual from your deck to your hand. During the main phase, if this effect was activated this turn, you can target one level 4 or lower Cyberse monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So that's nothing to laugh at. That's a really powerful effect. And then this is the Cluck Spartoli, whatever his name is. I don't know how to say it. Sparty. He's like a Spartan. And the Clock Spartan. He gets you your Signet Fusion. And that's why we only play one Signet Fusion, because when this card is Link summoned, you can add one Signet Fusion from your deck to your hand. If a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, except during the damage step, you can target one level 4 or lower Cyberse monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but negate its effects. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except fusion monsters. You can only activate the effect of Cluck Spartan once per turn. So he's really good. And then my final Link 2 is Underclock Taker, who we all know how powerful Underclock Taker is, and then his arrows are pretty good as well. So that's it for my Link Link 2s. Up next, I have my Link 3s, which are for powerhouse plays. Like I was saying, we have one Decode Talker, who can go to insane amounts of damage. We have one Encode Talker, who actually I don't really use too often, but once per turn before damage calculation, if a monster this card points to battles an opponent's monster with higher attack, that monster can be unable to be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage from that battle. After the damage calculation, have this card or one monster points to gain attack equal to the attack of the battled monster, opponent's monster, until the end phase. So that guy is just a defense. Up next, I have one Xcode Talker, who puts a zone block on one of your opponent's sides of the field, which with Thunder Dragons and Orchest and whatnot is pretty powerful. Up next, I play 2 Transcode Talkers. I took out Power Code Talker, even though he's my favorite talker. And I started to play the 2 Transcode Talkers to reborn my Cyberse monsters. And then up next, I have Duplexer Chimera, who I actually found out is actually very useful when it's sent to the graveyard. It basically gets you your Signet Fusion back and replaces it with 1 monster. So if you make this first before you go into your Clock Dragon, it can open up more gateways to potential OTKs and whatnot. And then finally, I have my Cyberse Clock Dragon, who I was playing 2 of originally, but I found out that 1 is better than 2. So that's the deck profile, guys. Sorry this one got a little long, and sorry my dogs are going crazy. There might be a possum outside, potentially. Like, comment, and subscribe. Get at me. Rudy hasn't been in lately. He's been taking a little break, and he's been a little preoccupied. But he'll be back soon. I'm not too worried about it, you know. But anyway, holler at your boy, and catch me on turn 2.